Thank you for having me, and thank you for joining us tonight at DCEC sessions. So, for this evening, we are going to learn 10 things that you probably didn't know about the Philippines. Okay, and certainly we hope that tonight you will be able to rediscover the Philippines. Okay, but before anything else, I would like to ask everyone if you may turn on your videos so I can see you. And also, we have the chat box. If you are familiar about Zoom, you can refer to the chat box. The house rules are there, and we will also be sending you some translations of English vocabulary words that might be difficult for tonight's DCEC sessions. Okay, and later, after my presentation, you are also free to send us your questions if you are shy to ask them later. Okay, so you can also use the chat box. And we have reactions. So if you have questions, you may raise your hand physically, or you may also use our reactions button on Zoom. All right, everything clear? Okay, so before we continue, allow me to introduce myself. I am Carol Ann Fonseca Haraplasan. Please call me Carol for short. I hope some of you still remember me. And currently, I am the president of Teszara Inc. And when I have some free time, I love watching American TV series. And especially during the pandemic, I started to enjoy watching K-dramas, okay, Korean dramas. Also, I love doing a lot of community development work or volunteer work, especially for underprivileged children and women in the Philippines. Okay, so that's all about myself. And also, I joined the La Cruz English Club, the La Cruz Company Limited, as a governess in 2007, in July 2007. So this year, this month, is my 14th year with the La Cruz Company Limited. Okay. Back in 2014, I was transferred back to the Philippines to manage Teszara Inc. Okay. And in 2015, sorry, my memory fails me. In 2015, I became a licensed real estate broker. Okay, so if you have questions about me, please ask me later. So what are our objectives for tonight? Okay, of course, we want to discover new information about the Philippines and clarify some misconceptions. So maybe some of you have a different image of the Philippines, and we hope to change some of them before we end tonight's session. We also hope to gain an appreciation of the Philippines and its people, the Filipino people. And finally, we hope to introduce to you what we do in Teszara Inc. So let's start. What do you know about the Philippines? So maybe when you hear Philippines, what are the things that come to mind? I think I see Rie. Hi, Rie. I'm sorry, your mic is on mute.
Sorry. Hi, good evening.
How about you, Rie? What's your
Yeah,
impression of the Philippines?
I think Philippines very growing up now. Many economies and many cultural things. So I have no chance to go there, but many people, especially I think many people can speak English also. So I have an image. Many people are clever uh, to think about the global thinking.
All right. Thank you so much for
Mhm.
sharing, Ria, and everyone. Thank you for participating. So, allow me to proceed with my next slide. So, earlier, these are some of the photos that a lot of people think about when they hear or when they learn about Philippines. So, yes, beaches, wonderful beaches and islands, maybe crowded, right? Many people think it's too crowded in Manila. Old. If you haven't been to the Philippines recently, maybe the image that you have 30 years ago, 20 years ago are totally different from what we have today. Manny Pacquiao. I hope you know Manny Pacquiao. He is a world renowned boxer. So he is known all over the world, and Filipinos are fans of boxing. What else? Oh, typhoon. I'm sure you've heard that in the Philippines we get a lot of typhoons. I think generally or on an average, we get about 20 typhoons in a year. Okay? And the second photo, smiles. So Filipinos are also known for their smiles. Even when they don't have houses or they experience typhoon, we can still smile. Banana. Okay, I think Naho mentioned banana. So I'm sure in Japan, if you have had an ALT or assistant language teacher, usually they say Philippines is equal to bananas. Okay, yes, we have very delicious bananas. And Filipino mango, right? Have you tried Filipino mangoes? Please try them next time, okay? All right, so thank you for sharing. This time, so what are 10 things that you probably didn't know about the Philippines? Okay, so island, right? Did you know that the Philippines is composed of 7,641 islands? Okay, in fact, we have a total of 300,000 square kilometers of land area, and we are considered the world's fifth largest islands. Okay, what you see here in the photo is Palawan. Okay, have you been to Palawan? Okay, so Palawan was awarded as or voted as number one best island in the world in 2020 by Travel and Leisure magazine readers. Okay, it was for consecutive of 3 years: 2018, 2019, and 2020. So Palawan is number one best island in the world. Okay, so please do try it. Try to visit it next time. Okay. So please allow me to share this video with you, and hopefully you will learn something about the Philippines. Now, are you excited to visit the Philippines just by watching that video? Well, I am. I am excited to visit those islands again. So they say that the Philippines is all about beaches, resorts, and mountains. Is that true? Unfortunately, that is a misconception, okay? So allow me to share the number one or first thing that you need to know about the Philippines. The Philippines, especially Metro Manila, Makati, and Bonifacio Global City are highly developed cities, okay? So you can see here photos of Makati City, okay? Makati City or Makati Central Business District or Makati CBD is the leading financial and central business district in the whole Philippines, okay? In fact, we have a lot of companies, multinational companies in Makati. These photos show us Ayala Triangle. So Ayala Triangle used to be the home or office of Teszara Inc. Okay, and the Philippine Stock Exchange was also located in Makati City for a long time. Okay, here in the other photos we have Green Belt. Okay, so Green Belt is one of the biggest malls in Makati City. Okay, in fact, in Makati City, we have about 5 department stores. So it's highly urbanized. Makati City is highly urbanized. You can see a lot of businesses, companies, places to visit like malls and residential. Again, let me share with you one video. This is by Teszara Inc. This is about Makati City.
Makati has everything you want, everything you need. If you're looking for high-tech wares or the latest gadgets, you can visit Digital Exchange in Glorieta. Feel like splurging for branded items like jewelry, shoes, and chic clothes? You can find them all at the dazzling shops in Greenbelt. And don't forget to buy souvenirs for your loved ones. Get them at Cultura in SM Makati.
I'm sure you will enjoy shopping in Makati because it's packed with modern stores.
From SM Makati to Glorieta to Greenbelt, this whole stretch of bustling malls are connected to each other, so mall hopping and shopping are so fun and convenient for everybody, whether on an extremely hot or rainy day. And here is more good news for you. Almost all department stores here offer sales and discounts all year round, so you can shop without breaking your bank.
No money? Don't worry. Window shopping is for free. The Philippine mall culture is amazing, so come and try it. Shopping is perfect for a day out with your friends, family, and even by yourself. We hope you liked our video for today. See you next time!
Right. So that is a video of Makati City, especially the shopping area. Okay. So you can see there, well, that video was taken before COVID pandemic. Okay. So they were not wearing any masks yet. The Filipinos are mall-going people. In the world, out of 10 largest malls, the Philippines has 3 of the world's 10 largest malls. So you can imagine how much Filipinos love to spend on shopping, okay? All right, now let's move on to BGC. So Bonifacio Global City, also known as BGC, is also a financial and lifestyle district in Taguig. It's also part of Metro Manila, okay? It also has a lot of companies, multinational companies. Before, the Philippine Stock Exchange now moved from Makati from Makati to BGC. It's now located in BGC. We also have a lot of BPOs, or business process outsourcing companies, as well as embassies and international schools. I think even the International School for Japanese is also located in BGC. So here are some photos of BGC. BGC is also a highly urbanized area. It is a mixed use development. When we say mixed use, we have offices, commercial spaces, and residential. Okay, so here, the Uptown Mall, this is located in uptown area of BGC. So you can walk to your office from your condominium, and you can walk from your office to the mall. So it's very convenient. Okay, I have another video prepared for you. I hope you can enjoy looking at BGC. Thank you. So I think if you're just looking at the video or even physically, you can imagine that BGC is very similar to Tokyo, right? That's how I feel every time I go to BGC. Now that was number one. We have highly developed cities. Let's go to number two. What is the second thing that you probably didn't know about the Philippines? Our population growth is highest in Southeast Asia. Do you know our current population? Anybody? So our population growth rate, currently we are already at around 111 million Filipinos. That's as of July 18, 2021. So most of this Filipinos are ages between 15 and 64. That's around 67.4% of the population. And regarding our growth population rate, it's at 1.35%. We have surpassed USA, India, and China in terms of growing population. Well, in Japan, the median age is 48. 48 years old. Okay, you can imagine. So in the Philippines, what do you
20%.
Oh, that's close, because the median age in the Philippines is 25.7 years old. Quite young, right? Who here is 25? Okay, so that's the median age of the Philippines. Thank you so much, Koichi, for
Okay.
sharing. Okay, so that's another thing that is about the Philippines. Now let's go to number three. The Philippines is a global destination. Okay, there are many reasons. Okay, but allow me to share here an infographics for you. So why do a lot of people invest in the Philippines? One is because of our highly educated workforce. Okay, very young people working, and we have one of the fastest growing economy in the world. We are tourism friendly. You can enjoy going to the beach and other sightseeing places. We have an expanding infrastructure. Later, I will discuss more about this. Relatively lower cost of living. Well, definitely compared to Tokyo. We have about 200,000 new jobs created through foreign investments. And our GDP has been growing more than 6% for 9 consecutive years. According to the World Bank, our GDP from 2010 to 2019, so before the pandemic, it is at an average growth rate of 6.4%. Okay. Also, we are one of the top countries in terms of gender parity. So later, I will also discuss about this item. Okay. All right. Now let's move on to number 4. Let's talk about BPO industry because this is one of the biggest investments in the Philippines. So BPO industry, so call center, the Philippines is already considered as the call center capital of the world. So we have surpassed India. Okay. And according to the 2019 Thales Global Innovation Index, the Philippines ranked 5th out of 50 digital nations. So we are very digital. Okay. And then let's talk about real estate. Okay. So in the Philippines, according to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or our central bank, we can enjoy a relatively stable and resilient market. So for example, our real estate price index by area from 2016 to 2020 continue to increase. Okay, continue to increase. And the price of luxury 3-bedroom condominium in the Philippines also continue to increase from 1995 until before the pandemic. Of course, we experienced also some decline from 2020 and 2021. Okay? And the last graph here, this is about rental yield. When you say rental yield, so how much increase in income for rent, okay? The Philippines is at an average of 6.13% annually. Okay, so you can see here different countries in Asia. We have surpassed Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, and Japan. Okay, we are at 6.13%. Okay, so that's about investment in the Philippines. Let's go to some of the condominiums or real estate investments in Makati and Bonifacio Global City. So I'm showing you here some of the condominium properties, highly developed properties that Teszara Inc. Manage. Okay, so some of them are Airbnb, so we operate them as Airbnb units. Okay, so we have Shang Salcedo Place. This is in Makati. This is the lobby. It looks like a hotel, doesn't it? Okay, and this is the swimming pool. Okay, so all condominiums, maybe about 99.9% of condominium properties in the Philippines have their own gym and swimming pool. Gramercy residences. So again, it's a drop-off area, looks like a hotel. And we also have Serendra. Serendra is located in Bonifacio Global City. Okay, all right. Now let's move on. What's the 4th item? 10 things that you probably didn't know about the Philippines. So many people think Filipinos are bilingual. Do you agree? Again, this is a misconception, okay? Filipinos are multilingual. In the Philippines, we have about 120 to 182 native languages, okay? So we are multilingual. Our mother tongue, in Tagalog or Filipino, and English. Okay, I think Riza is here tonight. Riza, I'm sorry to bother you. I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
How many languages do you know?
Well, basically, I could speak Cebuano, Hiligaynon, which is my native tongue, Tagalog, English, well, a little Japanese.
Okay. All right. So let's make it more Japanese. So 5. Thank you. Thank you, Riza, for sharing. So imagine that's 5 languages. Okay. So Filipinos are multilingual. Also, I think earlier, a couple of you mentioned that when you hear about the Philippines, you always think English, right? Filipinos, according to EF proficiency in English, this is a big world ranking organization for English. In 2016, we ranked 13th, 13th out of 72 countries in terms of English proficiency. Can you guess? Can you guess how about Japan at that time? Anybody? You can just unmute your mic. Out of 72 countries, how did Japan rank? How about Mr. Yoshida? Hitoshi Yoshida. What can you guess? You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. What the question again?
So, in 2016, out of 72 countries, how did Japan rank in English proficiency?
80.
We only have 72. Nice one, nice one. Not 80, not 80. Actually, it was 35th.
Oh,
35th, okay? The Japan ranked 35th. So I am very happy to see many of you here studying English. Maybe next time that will improve, okay? Thank you so much. So now let's go to the 5th thing that you probably didn't know about the Philippines. Philippines has most women in senior positions. Are you surprised? So according to the Grant Thornton International Women in Business Survey in 2021, okay, Philippines is the highest among 29 economies. We are out of 32 countries, we have the highest number of women executives holding senior management positions, okay? Around 48%. Around 48% of the Filipinos in the workplace holding senior positions are women. Okay? Can you see Japan? Okay, can you see Japan? So unfortunately, Japan is only at 14.67%. Okay? So allow me to share with you some of the power business women in the Philippines, a couple of them. So we have Ms. Ana Tatlonghari, President of Ayala Land International Sales. Ayala Land International Sales is one of Teszara Inc.'s partner developers. The president is a Filipina woman. BDO Unibank. The chairwoman is also Teresita C. Coson. BDO Unibank is the biggest bank in the Philippines. And lastly, we have Ms. Robin Gokongwei Pe. She is the CEO of Robinson's Retail Holdings, Inc. Robinson's Retail Holdings, Inc. is the second largest retail company in the Philippines. Okay, so that's only 3 out of many examples. And well, I am proud to say that even in De La Cruz Company Limited, 3 out of the management team are Filipina women. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the 6th item. The Philippines is a social savvy nation. Okay? So, in fact, we use Facebook a lot. We have about 76 million active social media users. Every day, we spend about 4 hours daily on social media. So that's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not sure if you're familiar with TikTok. It's also very popular now. But in 2020, Facebook was the most used social platform in the Philippines. In 2021, it's YouTube. Okay? And from 2020 to 2021, our internet users have increased by 4.2 million just in 1 year. Okay? We are also known as the tech capital of the world. Filipinos, or the Philippines in general, send an average of 1 billion, 1 billion text messages every day. Okay? So that's more than the annual average of other countries, even in the USA. Okay? All right. So I'm sure you didn't know that. Now let's move on to number 7. So earlier I mentioned to you that many investors invest in the Philippines because of our expanding infrastructure. So allow me to share with you some photos and some information about that. So we have Skyway 3, okay? Skyway 3, this connects north of Manila to south of Manila. This is already operational in 2021. They already opened it. And in the past, so I also use this. In the past, it will take me an average of 3 hours to travel from north of Manila to south of Manila. But now, this has eased traffic and it only takes me about 30 minutes. From 3 hours down to 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm very thankful for Skyway 3. Another thing is Makati Subway. So in 2020, the construction of Makati Subway, so it will connect many establishments in Makati City. Okay, the construction was already started in 2020. So hopefully we will see its completion in the next couple of years. Next is SkyTrain. Okay, SkyTrain this time, this will be the first in the Philippines. Oh no, second in the Philippines. This time it will connect Bonifacio Global City and Makati City, the two of the biggest financial and lifestyle districts in Metro Manila. Okay. And lastly, I'm very excited for this, the new Manila Airport. Okay. Back in May 2011, JICA has submitted a report to the Philippine government that the Philippines needs an urgent alternative to our international airport. And I'm very happy to share with you that finally, the new Manila Airport construction has started. Okay, so it will be completed around, I think, 2026. So I hope when you visit the Philippines, you can land at the new Manila Airport. So again, these are some of the examples of the improving infrastructure of the Philippines. Now let's go to number 8. Okay, I think I might be running out of time. So the unique modes of transportation. I'm sure you have heard of jeepneys, okay? So it's the most popular mode of public transportation in the Philippines. And Grab Car Premium. Have you heard of Uber? So in the Philippines, we have Grab Car Premium. Actually, we have Grab Car, Grab Taxi, and Grab Car Premium. So you can choose a different selection of cars with different amenities to make sure that you have a comfortable ride. According to Grab Philippines, you can book a car in less than 30 seconds. So it's very convenient. I myself use Grab car, especially when it's difficult to look for parking area. Okay. And lastly, angkas. Angkas is a Tagalog word. It means ride. So it is a motorcycle ride-hailing platform and also to help decongestion. I remember I tried Angkas before with one of our Japanese clients because we wanted to make sure we won't be late for a meeting. So thankfully, Angkas was there. The picture here, this is because of the barrier. Because of the pandemic, so that was implemented for Angkas in the Philippines. Okay. Let's talk about the Philippines in time of the corona. I am at my last 2 points. The new normal. Okay. I'm sure you have a new normal in Japan as well. So in the Philippines, we are currently working from home. Okay. We have flexible working conditions. In fact, before the pandemic, Filipinos use work from home setup at about 52%, but now it is at 85%. Even Teszara Inc., we are currently working from home. Okay. And also we have another new normal. Part of new normal is implementation of nationwide and localized lockdowns. So I'm not sure if you've heard, we are quite strict during this pandemic. The government is very strict. We have enhanced community quarantine. So almost every 15 days, the government releases an announcement on the restrictions. For example, in the beginning, uh, you can only go out of your home if you are 18 years old until 60. And then slowly, when we ease the regulations, you can already you can already go out if you are 60 to 65. Okay. So this is to avoid the spread of COVID in the Philippines. Okay. All right. And then next, okay, last one is the support of the Philippine government. I know that this COVID pandemic has been very challenging for all countries or for most countries in the world, including the Philippines. And our government is not perfect, but I am happy to share some good news. Our government has enacted a law in 2020 to give around 199 billion to assist Filipinos. It's called the Social Amelioration Program. Okay, in fact, I and our members, Teszara Inc. members, benefited from this. So let me share a personal story. So when I applied for the Social Amelioration Program online, I was able to get the assistance from the government in less than 1 week. Okay, it was not so big, but it was very helpful for everyone in the Philippines. Okay, and of course, we have the vaccination program. Okay, our government created a prioritization program, like if you are a senior or if you have comorbidities, you can get your vaccination earlier or sooner. In fact, in my case, I already completed 2 shots of the COVID vaccine. I applied when I learned about it, when Makati started to open. I learned about it and I applied immediately online. After one day, this was in April, after April 7, April 8, I was able to get my schedule. And April 9, I was able to get my shot. Okay. And by May, I have already completed 2 shots. I've also heard some of our learners and clients have Japanese clients based in the Philippines. They have already gotten their vaccination. So I'm very thankful for the Philippine government for this. Okay. So I think that's about it. The 10 things that you probably didn't know about the Philippines. But before we end, allow me to share with you about Teszara Inc. Okay, so what do we do in Teszara Inc? We have DCEC PH. We provide English conversation lessons online and in classroom before the pandemic. We have PRPH. So we provide assistance for retirees for their SRRV. We have long stay support, and of course, real estate purchasing and rental assistance. So we also provide Airbnb. We manage Airbnb units or listing or leasing units of our Japanese. We also have Korean clients. I've also assisted Chinese clients and Filipino clients, especially for rental requirements. And the newest addition to our businesses or our departments is the DCEC Nihongo Center. So last year, we opened DCEC Nihongo Center. It provides Japanese lessons, this time to Filipinos. So in case you haven't liked our Facebook page yet, please do like our Facebook page at DCEC Nihongo Center. So that's about Teszara Inc. And again, thank you everyone for joining DCEC sessions tonight. I hope you can answer, what did you discover about the Philippines? Thank you so much, everyone.